I was just watching back one of the clips and there is literally static all around me and this has never happened before. Please send help. Time to whip out the healing crystals. So welcome back to my channel. I just want to start off today's video by saying I am not doing good. I have honestly tried to film this like 10 times already and it is just not happening. Things keep going wrong and now I'm paranoid that there is a reason that I shouldn't be filming this video. Great start. Also, I want to apologize about my hair. I got it cut yesterday and I don't know how to style it. So as you will have seen from the title, today I'm going to be talking about the time that I got cursed. Yep, you heard it right. I don't even know where to start with this one. Okay, so let's take it back to this summer. Life was good, you know, everything was going great. I was living my best life until I started to notice like small things going wrong. It started off as like, I'd say minor inconveniences, you know, just day-to-day things going not so good. So it was actually quite a while before I realized that like maybe something was up.
Something ain't right.
Let me give you an example of the type of things that were happening to me. So one night I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I had this like overwhelming sense that something was wrong. In my panic, I reached out to turn my light on and literally the minute that I touched my light, it exploded. I wish I was exaggerating. Sparks flew and my light just blew up. At this point, I was like already nervous from all of the things that had been going wrong. So like that really freaked me out. I'd just like to add that during this time, I was having like absolutely whack dreams. Like I'm not kidding, they were insane. So now, as well as like bad things happening, weird creepy things were also happening. I started to joke to my friends saying stuff like, oh, you know, maybe I've been cursed. I even sent this now ironic streak on Friday the 13th. It literally says, let's summon some demons. Obviously I regret that a little bit now. So I'd go ahead and say the next month was probably one of the worst months of my life. Major things started going wrong. This isn't just me being paranoid, like it was affecting like my family as well, because as I say, like major shit was going down. I'm not even going to go into all of the things that are happening because honestly it's just kind of dark. Look who's come to visit. Me and my mum had a holiday booked for the end of August and we kept telling ourselves if we can just make it through all of this till our holiday, everything will be fine, like we'll have a nice break. Man, was I wrong. It was kind of the holiday from hell.
The holiday from hell.
Now, before I sound like a brat, I'm not being ungrateful. Obviously, I'm super appreciative that I get to go on holiday, but you know, that doesn't change the fact that apparently the demons have passports. I actually made a list on my phone of like all the things that were happening to us on the trip. There are 33 things on that list and we were only there for 2 weeks. So the first thing that went wrong was when we were halfway down to the ferry port, I realised that I had forgotten my shoes. That wasn't me being forgetful, that was definitely down to the curse. So anyway, we nearly missed our boat. Once we arrived in France, after being on the road for about half an hour, we got a warning saying that one of our tyres was going flat. I mean, that's just so inconvenient. Like, why couldn't it have happened like an hour ago when we were back in England so we could have easily fixed it? Like, come on. Probably should mention for our holiday we were touring around Europe and so we were visiting lots of different places, but for one of the stops we just had one day scheduled in Venice. Of course there was a storm the day that we were there. There was so much water and I know that's a stupid thing to say about Venice, but like it was raining so much. I have never seen anything like it. I would also like to point out that it was at this point in the holiday that my mum got sick and my mum doesn't get ill that often, so it was, you know, pretty unlucky for her to get ill on holiday. Anyway, after our rainy day in Venice, we decided to hit the road and carry on to our next stop, which was Switzerland. So on the way there, most of it we were on various toll roads. If you don't know what a toll road is, it's basically where you get a ticket and you like pay for the bit of road that you've been using. Anyway, so on the way to Switzerland, we passed through one of the toll barriers, but like there was no one there and no one to give out any tickets and the thing was open. So we just drove through as you do. It was only once we reached the next toll booth that everyone else was putting in a ticket that we obviously hadn't got. We'd only been on the road for about 5 minutes, so it probably should have cost us a few euros had we have got a ticket. Try explaining this to the man in the booth who only speaks Italian. We ended up having to pay 70 euros because we had lost our ticket that we had never received. So finally we arrived in Switzerland and checked into our hotel. Straight from the off, creepy as f***. Like, I'm not kidding. I will insert some pictures of the decor so that you can see what I'm talking about. I know you belong. Turns out the night that we checked in was the night of the Salsa Festival, which happened to be located right outside of our window and continued on until 3 a.m. Luckily, I found out the next night that I wouldn't have been sleeping anyway because the hotel room was the creepiest place I have ever stayed, and I am convinced that it was haunted. I was terrified. I spent most of the night on the balcony wrapped up in my duvet because I was too scared to go back into the room. You probably think I'm just being dramatic. Maybe I am, but there were some legitimate things that went wrong as well. After overnight parking on the street, you needed to collect your next ticket at 7 a.m. so that you didn't get fined. So at 7 a.m. the next day, my mum went downstairs to put more money in the parking meter. That was when we discovered that we were locked in the hotel. They literally locked us in the hotel overnight. How is that okay? She ended up having to like go into the kitchens and get someone to let her out that way. Who locks the guests in the hotel at night unless you are literally planning to murder them in their sleep? By this point, my mum was even more sick. Everything was just going to shit, so we decided to actually cancel the next part of our trip and go back to France. On the way, we lost the wallet, which had all of our currency in it, but at this point, that was nothing. And honestly, our time in France at the end was no better. Like, you can imagine how that went. Things still going wrong, things still happening to us. Normally, I never want to come home from a holiday, but this time we were so ready to be home. Which actually brings me to the final bullet point on my list, which is boat crashed on the way home. The ferry literally crashed in the dock. I feel like that just sums up the whole holiday, the fact that we couldn't even get home. We were tired of all of these bad things happening to us, and we decided to like properly try and think like what on earth could be causing this bad luck. Like, me and my mum are both good people, like we haven't done anything wrong to deserve this, we just couldn't work it out. We were talking about new things that we had like brought into the house, then suddenly my mum got it into her head that my tarot cards were the reason that all this had happened. She claimed it's because I was messing with things that shouldn't be messed with. I obviously didn't agree because I love my tarot cards and they were new. At the start of the summer, I decided to gift myself a new set of tarot cards, and me being resourceful had gone online to try and see if I could find them cheaper. And I did find some that were a really good price. The website was slightly suspicious, but they were a great price, and you know, your girl's on a budget. Sure, the curse started just after they arrived, but that's just coincidence, right? My mum was having none of it. She took my tarot cards, put them in a container and hid them in the garden so that I could literally not find them and that they were no way near us anymore. Now, I don't want to say that once we got rid of the tarot cards, the curse went, but once we got rid of the tarot cards, the curse went. No more summoning spirits for me, I guess. So I mean, I still have to wonder what is up with those tarot cards. Did someone like jinx them before they sent them to me, or did they just come with like a free demon in the box? I have no idea, but like that is some weird shit. So I guess the moral of the story is don't buy spiritual things from shady websites, and listen to your mum if she tells you your tarot cards are cursed. So that is it for today's video. I'd like to say that I am no longer cursed and also have no plan on bringing those tarot cards back into the house. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back again for my next video. Cookie, please don't eat that. Must not eat that.